All right, this is math, lesson 6.4. We're going to learn about mixed numbers and fractions greater than 1. All a mixed number is it's mixed. It has a whole number and a fraction. So 1 and 4/6 is a mixed number. Fraction greater than 1 has a numerator greater than its denominator. So 10/6. The numerator 10 is greater than the denominator 6. Let's skip this part for right now, and let me teach you something, and then I'll have you do the next page in a minute. Let's talk about a concept called decomposing mixed numbers. Here's a mixed number, 4 and 2/5, whole number, and a fraction. Now you can take this whole number and write it as ones. 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 4, and then the fraction. And then you can take those whole numbers and write them as a fraction. 5/5, and we're using fifths because the denominator appears in fifths. So 5/5 is the same as 1 whole. 5/5 plus 5/5 plus 5/5 plus 5/5 is 5, 10, 15, 20 fifths, plus 2/5 is 22/5. What I've done is taken a mixed number, 4 and 2/5, and turned it into a fraction greater than 1. And here's a model for that. This represents 1 whole. This fraction bar has been divided into 5 parts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I shaded in the whole thing. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2/5. That's the mixed number, but it's also 22/5. Let me count each of the fifths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 22/5, or 4 and 2/5. So that's one way that you can change a mixed number into a fraction greater than 1 by decomposing it. But you can also take 4 and 2/5 and change it into a fraction greater than 1 by, I guess, kind of a shortcut method. You multiply the denominator times the whole number and add the numerator. So 5 times 4 is 20, plus 2 is 22, and then you keep the denominator the same. So I changed the mixed number into a fraction greater than 1. Okay? Now, that's how you decompose mixed numbers. What if you want to decompose a fraction? Let's take 17/5, for example. Okay? 17/5 can be written as fifths. 5/5 plus 5/5 plus 5/5. That's 5, 10, 15, 16, 17. 17/5. Then the fifths can be written as whole numbers because 5 over 5 is the same as 1. So 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2/5 is 3 and 2/5. So here's the 17/5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. That represents 17/5. And you can see the 3 wholes, 1, 2, 3, and 2/5. Okay? So you can change a fraction greater than 1 into a mixed number. But you can also change 17/5 into a mixed number by dividing the numerator, 17, by the denominator, 5. Dividing the numerator, 17, by the denominator, 5. 5 will go into 17 3 times. 3 times 5 is 15. Subtract, and then you write the divisor underneath here as a fraction. 2/5. 3 and 2/5. All right? So let's practice a little bit with some of these. I want you to get out some lined paper, fold the paper in half, and show your work on these problems, okay? So let me take number 5. It's a mixed number, and I need to change it to a fraction. So I'm going to use probably the simplest method is multiplying the denominator times a whole number and adding the numerator. 3 times 5 is 15, 16, 17 thirds. Remember, keep the denominator the same. It hasn't changed. Number 6, you have 3 and 3/7. All right. Okay. I know that this has been divided into sevenths. I'm going to multiply it because there's 3 wholes. 7 times 3 is 21, 22, 23, 24. There are 24 sevenths. Let me try one more, and then I'm going to let you practice on some of them. 6 and 6/10. This tells me, okay, your fraction bar has been divided into tenths. 6 of them have been completely shaded in, and there's one more that has 6 out of 10 shaded in. So 10 times 6 is 60, plus 6 is 66. There are 66 tenths. All right, so go ahead and practice on 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So pause the video now, do those problems just the way I showed you here, and then we'll come back and I'll show you how to do these down here. All right, now these are fractions and we want to change them into a mixed number. Perhaps one of the easiest ways is just to divide the numerator by the denominator, okay? So number 13, if you take the numerator, 40, divide it by the denominator, 6, 6 will go into 40 6 times. 6 times 6 is 36. Subtract. I know that the difference between 36 and 40 is 4. And then all you have to do is write the divisor underneath. So the final answer is 6 and 4/6. That was number 13. Let's try number 14. Again, divide the numerator by the denominator. The numerator is 11, the denominator is 2. 2 will go into 11 5 times. 5 times 2 is 10. Subtract, you get 1. You write this underneath. The answer is 5 1/2. So why don't you go ahead and do problems 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Be careful, 20 and 21 are done like the problems up above, and then 22 is done like this. Okay?